students, today we are going to start chapter 4, motion in a plane or motion in 2D or motion in two dimensions. It has the same meaning whether we call it motion in two dimension or motion in a plane. So students, we have already covered in the previous chapter motion in a straight line, or that is also called motion in 1D. So what happened in motion in 1D? One coordinate was required to describe the motion of an object. I mean, we have considered only one position coordinate, one velocity coordinate, one acceleration coordinate, and body was moving only in a straight line. Body was not changing its direction of motion. The body can reverses its direction of motion, but body is restricted to move only about this line. Suppose this is the path of motion. Suppose this is the path of motion, then body is constrained to move only along this path, only along this line. Body can reverses its direction of motion, but it cannot change its direction of motion. I mean, body is not allowed to move in this direction. In motion in a straight line or in motion in 1D, only a straight line path is allowed to trace by an object. Okay, so but in this chapter, body is allowed to change its direction of motion. Suppose this is the path of motion and suddenly it goes along this direction. So what happens in this direction? We need two coordinates. Suppose I ask you, this is my xy plane and this is the point which is representing the position of a particle. So students, can you tell me how many coordinates are required? There are two coordinates required, xy. So this is the plane in which body is moving, in which body can move in motion in a plane. So if body is moving in two-dimensional plane, then two coordinates are required to describe the motion of an object. Then it is called motion in 2D or motion in a plane. Okay, so before starting this motion, because we need a different kind of algebra, we need a different kind of mathematics to understand the motion in two dimensions. So those are vectors. So students, before starting motion in 2D, let me cover this topic, vectors. So vectors are basically the physical quantities. We have come across, or you have come across in your previous classes, the physical quantities like mass, length, time, velocity, displacement. Okay, so these physical quantities are mainly classified in three types. You have heard about the two types of physical quantities, but I am telling you three types of physical quantities, because in our course we will come across the third type of physical quantity also. So first kind of physical quantities are scalars. So in this category, those quantities are covered which require only magnitude for their description. They are not concerned about their direction. So for example, mass, length, time, pressure, speed, these all are the scalar quantities, because in this we are not worried about their direction. They have nothing to do with the direction. Okay, the second kind of physical quantity which will be the part of our study, that will be the vector quantity. So vector quantity is a quantity which has magnitude as well as direction as well as obeys the law of vector addition. So students, please remember, there should be three characteristics of a vector quantity. One, it should have magnitude, it should have direction, and it should obey the law of vector addition. Matlab, it means if a quantity is having magnitude and direction, then it is not necessary that it is a vector quantity if it does not obey the law of vector addition. So this is the important condition of a vector quantity. It should obey the laws of vector addition. So I will give you one example. Suppose it is current. Suppose it is electric current. You have done in your class 10th current. Can you tell me what kind of quantity this is? What kind of quantity this electric current is? You will obviously say it is a scalar quantity, but current has direction. Current has direction, current has magnitude, then also it is a scalar quantity because it does not obey the law of vector addition. Suppose 2 ampere current is coming from this side and 1 ampere current is coming from this side, so it will be the 3 ampere current. So 1 plus 2 will be the 3. Okay, so vector quantity, so please remember the definition of vector quantity. It is a quantity which has magnitude, direction and obeys the laws of vector addition. Okay, Now the next type of quantity, tensor quantity, rarely we will come across this kind of quantity. I will tell you when I come across this tensor quantity in our physics course. So it is a physical quantity which is neither a scalar nor a vector, because it has no specified direction, because there may be a quantity whose direction is not fixed, direction is changing and magnitude is also changing depending on the direction. Okay, so neither scalar nor vector, but because it has no specified direction, it can have different values in different directions. So examples are moment of inertia, stress and so on. So we will come across this quantity, I will tell you in detail. Okay, so now mainly we have to discuss the vector in this chapter. Okay, so vector quantity like force, well, force vector, vector quantity or vector are same, having the same meaning. So these vector quantities are also called vectors. Vectors means a physical quantity which is of vector nature. Okay, so now representation of a vector in a plane. How can we represent a vector quantity in a plane? A vector quantity is represented by an alphabet. Suppose I have to represent force. You are aware about the force. So this is written as this F force. Force vector, suppose there is a force which is acting at a point and its magnitude is 50 Newton along north. In north direction there is a force of 50 Newton. So I should draw a line in north direction. So you know this is north direction, geographical east, west, north, south. So in north direction I draw a line whose scale is comparable to 50 Newton. I will draw this line as 50 Newton. Suppose I consider the scale 1 centimeter is equal to 10 Newton. So it will be obviously 5 centimeter. So in north direction, if I draw a line putting an arrow over its head, then it will represent a force vector quantity of 50 Newton. So a vector quantity is represented in a plane by drawing a line, and an arrow is also drawn over the head of this line, and this is the tail of the line, and it should be drawn in a given direction. So a vector quantity has two things in its portfolio. Very important, students. Suppose there is any vector quantity A, it may be velocity, displacement, acceleration, force, momentum, any vector quantity it can be. Suppose this vector quantity A vector, so it will have two things in its portfolio. One is the magnitude and second is the direction. So I told you the quantity which has magnitude as well as direction, that is called a vector quantity. So this is the magnitude which is written without an arrow, okay, and this gives the direction. So this is called the unit vector. If an alphabet is written with a cap over it, then it represents the unit vector, or it is used only to represent the direction. So direction, for purpose of direction it is used. So how can we calculate the magnitude of vector A? It is magnitude of vector A into A cap. So force vector is equal to 5 Newton along northeast. 5 Newton along northeast. Okay, so suppose F vector is equal to 5 Newton along northeast. So in northeast is making an angle of 45 degree with this east direction. So I have drawn my directions east, west, north, south, and northeast direction is making an angle 45 degree with east direction. So it is drawn. So every vector is represented in a plane by drawing a line with an arrow over its head. The length of line represents its magnitude. So students, now you have understood very clearly how can we represent a vector. A vector quantity is represented in a plane by drawing a line, putting an arrow over its head. The length of line is representing the magnitude of vector quantity, and direction of arrow is representing the direction of vector quantity. So students, it is very important, the definition of vector quantity and how do we represent vector in a two-dimensional plane. Or there may be a vector which can be represented in a three-dimensional plane or in one direction. A vector can be represented in a direction, in a plane, or in a three-dimensional space. Now these vector quantities are also classified into different categories. So I have written here types of vectors. So types of vectors, first type of vectors are true vectors or polar vectors. So students, most of the physical quantity you come across in your further chapters, they will have some point of application. They will have some original point. Suppose I have represented here the force quantity, force vector of magnitude 5 Newton. So it is starting from this origin, and point of application is P. It is acting at this point P. So the vectors which are associated with linear directional effect, as for example linear velocity, linear acceleration, linear momentum, displacement, or the vectors which have initial point, means those vectors which have some initial point are called these true vectors or polar vectors. Now second kind of vectors are rotational vectors or axial vectors or pseudo vectors. So there are physical quantities, those are vector and associated with rotational motion. Rotational motion means motion of a fan, motion of a door. Suppose you push the door of your house, then it rotates about an axis. So there may be physical quantities which are associated with the rotational dynamics, which are related with the rotational effect. So those vector quantities are called the rotational vectors. So the vectors associated with rotation, these vectors are used in rotational motion to define rotational effects. Direction of these vectors is always along the axis of rotation in accordance with the right hand thumb rule. So I will tell you later on what is right hand thumb rule. So examples are delta theta vector, this is angular displacement vector, torque vector, angular acceleration vector, angular velocity vector. So all these we are going to discuss in detail in further chapters. Now the next type of vector is like vectors or equal vectors. So students, this is very simple. Two vectors are said to be equal vectors if they are equal in magnitude as well as in direction. Next is negative vector. So a vector of same magnitude but in opposite direction is called negative vector. Negative vector has just opposite direction. If I draw a vector A in this direction, okay, and another vector of same magnitude in opposite direction, so this will be minus A, this will be minus A. Now next is zero vector. Zero vector has magnitude 0 and direction is not fixed. Its direction is arbitrary. It can have any direction. So suppose a ball is projected in vertically upward direction and after some time it come back to the same point of projection. So in this condition displacement vector is 0. Magnitude of displacement is 0 and direction depending on the sense of consideration. Okay, so these are called the zero vector. And next is unit vectors. So what are unit vectors? Unit vectors are basically used to represent the direction only. If we have to represent the direction of a vector, then unit vector is used for this purpose. And students, you have to remember, we are going to make an extensive use of these unit vectors I cap, j cap, k cap. So they are written with an cap over it, alphabet written with a cap over it. I have already told you. So along x axis there is a unit vector I cap, along y axis there is a unit vector j cap, along z axis there is a unit vector k cap. So we will make them extensively, they will be extensively used. Now next is coplanar vectors. Those are in the same plane में जो vectors हैं those are coplanar vectors. And students, two vectors are always coplanar. So this is all about the types of vectors. So just I have given you the introduction of vector quantity, and in the next class we will continue the simplification of vector quantities. In this class we have introduced what are vector quantities, how do we represent a vector, what are the types of vectors. In the next class we will start the simplification of vector quantities. I mean, how can we add two vectors, how can we subtract two vectors, different methods for adding, how can we resolve the vectors. So okay, thank you and thank you so much.